Hello everyone, in today's episode of Sammy's Kitchen, we will be making an easy to make pasta dish, perfect for your date night. Creamy Tuscan Shrimp Pasta. Let's get started. The ingredients you'll need are 1 to 2 pounds of shrimp, cherry tomatoes, spinach, bouillon cube or chicken stock broth, heavy cream, minced onion and garlic, spices, fresh basil, white wine, sour cream, your choice of pasta, lemon juice, and butter. Marinate your shrimp with 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of black pepper, a pinch of cayenne and red pepper flakes, a drizzle of olive oil, and a teaspoon of lemon juice. You're going to want to grate some cheese. For this recipe, I use Parmesan, Friulano, and Asiago. If you don't have all those, I recommend just using Parmesan cheese. You want to start to boil the water for the pasta. You're going to heat up a deep pan, then add a touch of olive oil to coat the bottom of the pan. Once your oil is hot in the pan, you can add your shrimp. Spread them out so they cook evenly. You can leave your shrimps whole or you can cut them into smaller pieces like I did. You're going to cook the shrimp for about 3 minutes on each side until they have changed color. Once they are cooked, remove the shrimp from the pan to a container with paper towel so it absorbs any grease. In the same pan, melt a few sticks of butter to absorb up the brown bits on the bottom of the pan. Once your butter is melted, you're going to add minced garlic and onion. I used green onion and shallots for this recipe, but you can use any onion that you like. As you can see, I'm just gently lifting the brown bits from when we fried the meat earlier into the sauce, and what that does is it adds more flavor. I like to add a little bit of white wine. When I'm doing red meat, I usually cook with red wine. If I'm cooking with white meat, such as chicken or fish, or shellfish in this case, I like to use white wine. Once your onions and garlic are sauteed, you can add your cherry tomatoes. As you can see, I have cut all the tomatoes in half, and I am just adding them to the pan so that they soften. And after a few minutes, you'll notice the tomatoes get softer. And this is when you're going to want to use your chicken stock or bouillon cube. You only need to use half the container. You can save the other half for next time. Once that comes to a medium boil, you can add your heavy cream. Depending on how creamy you want it, I usually only use less than half the container. You can also add your Parmesan cheese at this time. Now, to season the sauce, I usually add spices such as oregano, salt and pepper, paprika, cayenne, and red pepper flakes for spice, Italian herbs and spices, dried basil or parsley flakes. If you want to make the sauce thicker, you can add tomato paste. If you want to make the sauce creamier, you can add sour cream. In the sauce, we're just going to add our spinach and our shrimp that we cooked from earlier. For the last 10 minutes of the sauce cooking, I will add my fresh basil. And if you're like me and you enjoy a nice fresh toasted piece of bread with your plate of pasta, you should also get a baguette or French stick. At this time, the water for the pasta was done boiling, so I added the salt. If you want your pasta to taste like cardboard, then don't add salt, but if you want your pasta to have some flavor, I would go ahead and add a healthy tablespoon of salt. I like my pasta a little bit al dente, so what I'll do is, with the time that's given on the package, I will subtract 2 minutes. When the pasta's cooked, I usually add a little bit of butter and olive oil just to keep the pasta from sticking. I usually add 3 to 4 scoops of the sauce to the pasta. And voila, there you have it. And I'd just like to give a shout out to Clinton, who was one of my first subscribers to my YouTube cooking channel before I had any videos, so shout out to Clinton, you a real one. Join us next week when we make brajoli.